Welcome to Cooking with Faigy and Bina. We have a special guest on this week's episode. We are doing a Purim special and we're going to be making Dubai chocolate hamantashen. I don't know if you've been on the trend, but like the Dubai chocolate has just gone viral and we're like, let's take it and let's put it into a hamantash for some Purim. There are 3 steps to this recipe, and I'm very happy I have a sous chef here today. Bina's like almost always in the kitchen. We're gonna start with the hamantashen, so while they're baking, we can work on the filling, and there's gonna be 2 steps to the filling, but let's put them in the oven, take 15 minutes, and while they're cooling, we get to fill them. We're gonna start by putting the dry ingredients into the bowl. We have 4 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, we have 1 cup of sugar. Awesome, and now a pinch of salt. So take a pinch from that over there. This one? You can give 1 more pinch. Perfect. What's the idea of hamantashen? Bina, do you know why we make hamantashen?
Yeah, because like they're like triangle like someone's hat.
And right, we eat hamantashen because they look like hats, right? Here, you can crack 4 eggs. The idea that hamantashen are this concept that they're round, but then we bring them together to form points is actually like a very Kabbalistic concept. The Arizal teaches us that Hashem created the world with 2 systems. He created the world with the system of circles and the system of lines. The idea that the rest of the world is ruled by this system of circles, which is really like this system of nature, is the fact that like the sun rises and the sun sets no matter what happens. Like horrible things can happen and Holocaust can happen and hostages can be taken, and yet the sun still rises and sets every single day. It has nothing to do with your actions. The world is based on that system of nature. But the system of lines, which here you can put the oil in, is the system where things have a direct correlation. That if you do something, you get punished immediately. You do something good, you immediately get rewarded. Almost like, you know how we're studying in Navi, like we're learning the idea of the shoftim? Like anytime the Yidden did anything wrong, all of a sudden Hashem sent an enemy. We don't have that nowadays. We don't have like, oh, you did something wrong and now you get punished immediately. We now live under this system of circles. But Haman saw was that the Jewish people were always ruled under the rule of systems. It used to be that during the times of the first Beis HaMikdash, you did anything wrong, you would immediately get punished. But what happened with after the destruction of the first Beis HaMikdash, Haman saw it as an opportunity. He's like, ooh, now Achashverosh, we can go get them. Achashverosh is like, no, these people, like, did you see what they did to Paro? Like, did you see the makos? Like, I'm not doing that. Like, if they do something good, Hashem's gonna be good to them. But Haman saw it as an opportunity to say, oh, 1 second. They may have been under the system where everything was direct and punishment immediate right away. But now that they are separate from Hashem, and now that they don't have the Beis HaMikdash, this is a time period where we can get them. Where we can get them because they're no longer under the system of Yashar, the system of lines, but now they're under the system of Igulim, which is circles, where we can get them and we can like chop them now, you know? But what Haman didn't realize was that even though it looks like Hashem is separated, even though it looks like Hashem's not in the story of Purim, right? The whole idea is that Hashem's name's not even in the Megillah. What we learn is that even though it doesn't look like it, Hashem is there in the underlying point. So as much as it looks like Hashem pulled back and he's not directly in our lives like he used to be during the time of the Beis HaMikdash, Hashem is there and he's hidden, and we have to find the points of Hashem in it. So as much as we're ruled under the system of circles, we're still hiddenly under the system of lines. So what we do is we take this round hamantash and then we bring it together and we have points to it, and then we realize that even if it doesn't look like Hashem's involved in our life, Hashem is always involved in our life. That's the secret of the hamantash. Okay, do you want to get in there?
Sure.
And start doing this with your hands? What's like your favorite part of making dough?
This part mixing it, or like shaping it.
Shaping it? No, but like tasting it?
I don't want it.
Keep going, keep going. You got it? Okay. Are we ready to roll? Which yontif do you look forward to the most?
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah? Hanukkah and Purim are a little bit related, you know that.
Yeah.
Let's start rolling. Why is Hanukkah your favorite?
I like lighting the menorah.
You like lighting the menorah. Ooh.
And with singing.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite part of Purim?
Probably going around doing the manos.
Doing manos, yeah.
How thin should I do it?
You can go a little thinner. And Lily, this one's for you. This is a lot of work. We might need another sous chef. Let's go. We're bringing in the troops. Keep going, babe.
Thinner than this, mommy?
Yeah. Now we're gonna start to shape them. Let's go. Lily's been cooking in this kitchen like since day one. Lily is Bina's really good friend. Oh, these look so good.
Oh, is this one good?
These are perfect, yeah. Okay, so take them out, put them onto here. Good job, Lily. Okay, this is like the most satisfying part. No, let's go. Roll it all up. Amazing. Let's check the thickness. Yeah, perfect. Okay, start to shape. Let's go. So what we're doing here is we're rolling out the dough. We're putting these into the oven. They're gonna bake for between 10 and 12 minutes. The oven is preheated to 350. Once we take them out, we're gonna let them cool. Because these are not just cookies, these are hamantashen, so we need to make the shape of them. Gorgeous. Here's where we take the circle and we bring the four corners together to remind Haman that as much as it looks like it's just nature running the world, Hashem actually still runs the world behind the scenes. Okay, so let's make some hamantashen shapes. Now the key is like to get them to stay put. It's always a trick.
Sure, are these ones too thin?
No, they're good. They're beautiful. Lily, what do you like most about Purim? What's your favorite part of Purim?
Like going to people's houses,
Oh.
and dropping a shop.
Oh, it's so fun, like the whole idea of like mishloach manos, because like the idea is that you're supposed to bring mishloach manos ish l'reyehu, and you're supposed to go back to like the old friends. You're not supposed to, it's not about like, oh, the new neighbor moved in, like let me go bring it. It's about going back to the old people that you knew. Do you wonder like why? Like why is that? Why do I have to go back to the people that I've known before? What's the idea of like bringing it to old friends, bringing mishloach manos to them?
You like get into like friendships with them, like I don't know, like meet up with them again.
Yeah, definitely. There's the idea of like meeting up with them again. Why? Hashem wants to remind us that it's not just about everything new that's coming. It's also about like all the past things that have happened that have formed you. Like Amalek tried to get us on the road, like al hadarach. They wanted us to show us that like, unless you get to the end point, it's not worth it. Unless you become this and this person, it's not worth it. No, every single step of the way counts. Like every single friend that you made, even if we don't live in that neighborhood anymore, or even if we're not there, we're still connected to those people. Every single step of the journey is just as important as the journey, as like the end part. As like the end thing.
Yeah.
So like they got us on the way and they're like, oh, we got you on the way. You only made it to this point. And we're like, even if we made it to that point, it was still worth it. Okay, they're all opening. I don't know what's going on here.
It's like pinching like this now,
Oh yeah?
I think.
Okay.
Don't listen to me, I don't want to do it.
I want to listen to you. You're the baker. I have to learn from you. They're so pretty. You know, it's funny, like you would think that like Haman would have been happy. He had everything, right? He had like all the money in the world, he had all the fame in the world, but what didn't he have? He was missing one thing.
The king, like being the king. Like
Not being the king. What was he mad about? He went over.
How Mordechai did about him.
Mordechai didn't about him. He literally was on top of the world. He was like Sheni Lamelech. He was so close to Achashverosh. He had him in his back pocket, and like he was still mad that Mordechai didn't bow down to him. What does that show about him?
He was stubborn.
He was very stubborn. Yeah. Not only he was stubborn, like he couldn't be happy with like the small things in life. One of the things that Bina and I do every night before we go to bed, what do?
Gratitude.
We do gratitude. And what are the questions that we ask ourselves?
Like our favorite part of the day, who brought you joy today?
Favorite
Three
part
things.
of your day. 3 things that you're grateful for, right? Or someone that like brought you joy today. Like if Haman was like sitting at night, like and writing a gratitude book, he probably would have been okay. Because he would have been like, okay, fine, like Mordechai's not bowing down to me, but like I have the king, I have money, I have a great wife, but like somehow he couldn't be happy. And like when he didn't have everything, he couldn't see anything. Like because he was so wrapped up in that, he wasn't able to see the good in his life. And that's like sad. That's very sad. He couldn't be happy, he was sad. Okay, should we get the first batch in the oven, I think? Yeah, let's get the first batch in the oven. These are gonna go in the oven. We are going to try to make this Dubai chocolate that's so viral at home and then put it into our hamantash. So, because it's green, what's the first thing that goes in it?
The pistachios.
Pistachios. Happens to be, was my father's favorite nut, was pistachio. I just feel like it's the prettiest color nut to use. So we're gonna start off with 1 cup of pistachios, and it calls for 1/4 cup of oil, which we're gonna add slowly so that it like reduces the pistachio. And then we're gonna add confectionery sugar, a little vanilla extract, and a pinch of salt. So we're gonna take this pistachio paste and then we're gonna mix that with the phyllo dough, and that's gonna give you that cool Dubai chocolate effect. Okay, so we're gonna start with our pistachios. You could pour those in. What's cool about Purim is that we appreciate the filling that's on the inside. We also have a custom to eat kreplach, which are like little dumplings that have something inside of it. And we also eat hamantashen that are filled with delicious things, because sometimes it's what's on the inside that counts. Okay, so let's give this a pulse. Okay, and now I'm gonna add the other part of the oil. What's your favorite flavor hamantash?
Used to make like those Oreos ones.
Oh, cookies and cream?
Oh yeah, funny nice one. They're really good.
They're really good. There was like cookies on the dough for that one, right? Let's keep getting it down. Oh my God, it smells so good. So this came down in about like 5 minutes. It's so smooth and creamy. Okay, you can add the rest of the ingredients, Bina. Good. Confectionery sugar and vanilla. Perfect. Gorgeous, thank you. Okay, let's give it one last spin. I think we're good. That was smooth. Okay, for our next step, I brought in some more backup help. Always, the more sous chefs in the kitchen, the better off you are. Some people are like, oh, my kids in the kitchen, they're making a mess. But I'm like, if you look at them like they're a chef, and we have little chefs here, then it's gonna be so much fun. And then it like works out great, because then like the kids just make breakfast and lunch for themselves. It's awesome. Okay, so for our next step, we're gonna take this phyllo dough, which is already like nicely strung. We're gonna take some of this dough and we're gonna form like this knefe. So we're gonna take this phyllo dough, we're gonna melt some butter and let that crisp up for 2 minutes. And then once that's ready, we're gonna put it into this bowl and we're gonna mix it with our pistachio cream. Yum, how good does this look, Nechama? Very good, right? So the next step we're going to do is take this knefe and mix it with our delicious pistachio paste. Our tzaddikim teach us that every year when it comes to Purim, we need to read the Megillah as if this is a story that's happening to us. And in the story, it says, La Yehudim haisa ora v'simcha v'saso mikar, that for the Yidden, they had a good and joyous and happy time, and that they were happy. The Yidden were happy. Now, how could the Torah like demand us like to be happy? Like they're an emotion to tell us that we should be happy. Ora v'simcha v'saso mikar, when things are really actually very difficult. So when we learn about, I'm going right in here. When we learn about Simcha, we have to understand what joy is. A lot of times I look to see at the opposite. And the opposite of joy would be sadness. And true sadness actually began all the way back in the beginning of time when we ate from the tree. And that's where the concept of yitzavon, of sadness, came. That all of a sudden we made a mistake and now we're gonna have to work from the sweat of our brow. And sadness really comes from that place of not necessarily feeling things are connected. When things are broken down, think about it. God forbid, when somebody is sick and their body gives out on them, right? The body as a whole is not working together. So what happens is that as things break down and as you only see the small little points of it, that's really where sadness comes in. But the thing is, then you're like, okay, so if that's sadness, then where does joy come from? You would think like, oh, joy. Like for me, I'm like, joy is like sitting on the beach with a pina colada, no worries, nothing happening. But at a certain point, you live your life like that, but that doesn't necessarily fully bring you joy. If sadness comes from things being broken down, joy actually comes from the same thing. Joy comes from opposites. Joy comes from like a boiling hot day and having a freezing cold drink, right? Or on a freezing cold day, you come in and you make hot cocoa, right? Something warm. So joy really does come from the same place of sadness. The difference with joy is that joy just finds a connecting point to all the seemingly separate, sad or difficult things, or like things that are making us sad and bringing us down. Joy is that like unifying circle that takes all the sad points and brings it into one circle and dances together. By the way, that's how Yidden dance. We dance in a circle. Rabbi Nachman gives this incredible mashal of like people dancing at a wedding where there's always that like, you know, that inner circle of like close family, the machatinista, like dancing in the middle in the circle. And then you're like the stragglers on the outside, like the people who maybe know the chassan's family, you know, the lady who already like took off her heels because like she doesn't want to dance anymore, or the person like sitting on the side, maybe they're too elderly to dance. But what Rabbi Nachman teaches us is that at a true Simcha, at a wedding, what you need to do is you need to step out of, let's say maybe your inner circle, and go around and gather all those people, gather all the points that maybe are seemingly sad, but bring them into the circle as one big thing to dance. Joy is taking all those difficult things that may seemingly look sad and seemingly look hard, but really what we do is when we pull them all together, we have the most beautiful, joyous circle, and that's the Simcha. And in order for us to tap into the Simcha of Purim, we need to recognize those little things in life that maybe are hard, but when you bring them in together, all the way to the whole circle, that's really what's going to bring you Simcha. And we're kind of like demanded on Purim to feel that feeling of Simcha. And through the mitzvos that we do, such as like matanas la'avyonim and having a suda, you gather people, mishloach manos, you go to people's houses, you knock on the door, you bring those people Simcha, those little bits. That's really what brings the true joy of the day. Okay, so now that we have our knefe delicious filling, oh my God, this is crazy good. Okay, so now we're gonna melt the chocolate. Okay, so put that in the microwave for 1 minute. So we're gonna start layering and filling our hamantashen because the best part is the inside. These are perfect. We worked really, really hard on these, no?
It's like take them out, put them.
Take them out, put them in, but they came out perfect. And we're gonna layer the bottom with dark chocolate. Before that hardens, I'm gonna have Bina put a little bit of the knefe in it, and then we're gonna drizzle with white chocolate. Of course you could put them in. I like to like check on my chocolate as it's melting, so I like to give it a little stir in middle. This is milk chocolate. That's what we want to use. Okay, here, let's put this back in. Look, I'm gonna put this into the microwave, you know. So here we have our melted milk chocolate. Oh my God, it's like divine. Okay, so here we have the chocolate. We are going to top it with some of this. Whoa. You know, it's funny because like what we're doing is like we're eating the hat of our enemy, right? Like that's the whole idea that like he had a 3-cornered hat. We're like eating our enemy. It's like we've taken it to the next level. When it comes to Hanukkah, we fry things in oil. And here we're like literally taking it to the next level and we're like eating our enemy. I think like this is our way of like finally getting rid of Amalek, like by literally just ingesting him and like putting it in part of us. But I think that's how it is really with any of our enemies. Like our enemies end up becoming like part of us. That means that there was never really an enemy that was out to get us. It was just out there to help us become better. And essentially what happened on Purim is that this decree to kill all the Jewish people really ended up uniting all the Jewish people. And what came of the relationship of Esther and Achashverosh was really Daryavesh, who helped us build the Beis Hamikdash. So it's a good thing that we've overcome our enemy, and now we get to have fun with it. How are we doing with the white chocolate? You ready for the topping? Yeah. This is the best part. Let's go.
When you put it in like a bag.
Should we do that?
Yeah.
Let's put it into a bag. Oh. Okay, I think we have to try one now, right?
Can I try one?
Yeah, go for it. I mean, do try this at home. Wow. They're insane. So good.